In the top stories, the BWU joins the NUPW in calling on public sector workers to march on Monday. Panama's president plans to strengthen ties with Barbados, and ESA Field Pickwick are through to the Sagicor T20 finals. Welcome to Nation News for Friday, July 3rd, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles. The Executive Council of the Barbados Workers Union is standing in solidarity with the National Union of Public Workers, which has called on public workers to march next Monday. In a statement issued on Friday, the BWU called on all public servants, irrespective of union affiliation, to support the march, which is expected to begin at 8:30 a.m. The location has not yet been announced. On Thursday, NUPW President Akani McDowell called on thousands of public sector workers to protest government's handling of the dispute between the NUPW and the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation. BIDC has sent a number of workers on early retirement, a move which the union say has implications for workers at other statutory bodies. Acting General Secretary of the NUPW, Rosalind Smith, said the protest was just the beginning of the fight against government.
I am not retreating. I will be pursuing them. I'm going to recover and restore all the rights that they have taken from the workers in this country. So we'll be going past this issue. We're looking at appointments. We're looking to ensure that those workers at the NCC over here, and we have not seen any justice as yet. So this is only the beginning. So they want war? We are prepared.
Leaders of 13 CARICOM countries were greeted by much pomp and ceremony when they arrived at Hilton, Barbados on Thursday for this year's Heads of Government Conference. The 3-hour opening ceremony included a number of speeches, including those by United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and his CARICOM counterpart Erwin LaRocque. Prime Minister Frondell Stewart, who is the new chairman of CARICOM, used the opportunity to urge regional leaders to pay attention to food security.
For how much longer are we going to repeat that between the lands of Guyana, of Belize, and now also of Suriname, we have the veritable breadbasket of the Caribbean? Has the time not come? Is the hour not upon us when we must, in a structured manner, mobilize the idle hands in our region, around the idle lands in our region, and deal systematically with the food security issues we have been facing? If our pallets are being held on mortgage by producers of food outside of this region, are we still justified in thinking ourselves genuinely independent?
Panama's President Juan Carlos Varela says there are several opportunities for Barbados to benefit from increased trade with that Central American nation. Speaking shortly after he arrived for the CARICOM summit, he said his country was keen to strengthen linkages through tourism and education.
Also, Panamanian students are going to be coming to the college in Barbados to learn English, and that's another idea that we're going to visit the college now. And also we want to, since we're going to promote a lot of connectivity and tourism, we want also to share information for security reasons. So we want to exchange information so we can allow the passengers and tourists to travel, but we also have the capacity to identify if somebody is traveling with other purposes. So that's mainly the idea of building a strong connectivity between Panama and Barbados, and also sharing best practices.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Mark Thompson says the post-mortem on the body of 6-year-old Jahan King will be conducted next Thursday. He revealed that the boy's mother, Lasonta Gill, and her boyfriend, Dwayne Marshall, were questioned and released on Wednesday night. King, who was a student of Lawrence T. Gay Primary, died at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital last Monday. Doctors referred the matter to the police after seeing suspicious bruises on his body. His grandmother, Margaret Gill, said she had pleaded with the child care board officials to remove the boy from his home. Caribbean citizens are doing their own research even when they hire lawyers, says Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite. And it's for this reason that he has urged law librarians to keep up with technology. He made the comments as he delivered the feature address at the Caribbean Association of Law Libraries' 30th anniversary conference earlier this week.
Indeed, in modern Barbados and most of our territories, individuals believe that they have a right to information. And therefore there's a wider and more intense request for information. I think as lawyers we all appreciate that we have a more educated populace, and many of our clients tend to do their own research, even having hired you. So your demand for your services has gone beyond lawyers, judges, etc. But certainly I dare say that the average man in the street now finds himself doing research and going into your libraries.
Lil Rick, Grainer and Mikey will be a part of this year's Massey Pan Pundi Sand on July 12th. This was revealed on Friday during a press briefing about the event, which is being staged on Brandon's Beach under the theme Sweet Steel, Sand and Soca. Also performing will be Massey All-Stars of Trinidad, Red Panners, Pan Extreme, Mosaic Steel Orchestra, Pan Indie Plaza, and Choices Pan Groove. Princess Margaret Secondary School has been recognizing students who score over 80% in end-of-term exams. Students have to score over 80 in 3 subjects or more to receive an award in the Over 80s incentive scheme. 10 students received awards this year. In sports, it will be ESA Field Pickwick versus Sagicor UE in the final of the Sagicor General T20 cricket competition. Pickwick beat Counterpoint Wanderers by 3 wickets on the final delivery of the match in the second semi-final at Kensington Oval. Scores: Wanderers 100 for 9, Pickwick 103 for 7. The final will be played on July 10th at the Oval. For the first time in more than a decade, Barbados will be fielding a women's 4x400 meters relay team in major competition. Tia Adena Bell, Nadia Cummins, Sonia Gaskin and Sade Seeley will compete in the event at the Pan Am Games in Toronto later this month. Barbados has not been able to put together a good male quartet since the Sydney 2000 Olympics. The national record was set in 1999. And finally, a Florida man has been fired after he wrote a Facebook post saying he wants to marry his dog. Ryan Uller thought he was being funny when he took to Facebook to compare marrying his dog to same-sex marriage. But he quickly found himself in the doghouse at work. He was fired from his position as a digital marketing specialist at the Grace Investment Group. Mr. Uller told the media he was blindsided since he didn't think anyone at the company knew how to use Facebook. And that's where we end Nation News for Friday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.